Hi, I'm Anna. Don't step on my stream deck. I just came back. Okay. Oh. Hold on. I forgot to do a thing that is loud. Have my soda because I need caffeine. Alright. Here we go again. Dude. I can't believe that Adrian. No way. Not cool and collected Adrian at Andrews. She's your manager. It would have been very easy for her to pull this off. The only person who had easy access to the knife used at dinner was, well, her. So after the ceremony, during the break, huh? I was sleeping like a log the entire time. See, she could have also easily planted that blood-covered button in your hakama. Because she was the one that came to wake me up? Then, dude, you're saying it really was her? Yes, she is the real killer. She is the one who murdered Juan Corrida. But, why? I thought she was buds with Juan. She has her own agenda. Her own agenda? What are you talking about? I'm sure you'll see by the time this trial's over. It'll be alright. I'll get you acquitted by the end of today. Get me a verdict that's refreshing like a spring breeze, okay, Mr. Lawyer Dude? Phoenix. You think her motive is related to Celeste Impact's missing suicide note, right? Yes. Miss Andrews depended on Miss Impacts as her strength and reason to live. But then Miss Impact suddenly kills herself. It sounds like she left a suicide note and the person thought to have hidden it is Juan Corrida, the victim of this murder. And that's why I think Miss Andrews got close to Mr. Corrida. All to get the suicide note back. That sounds plausible. But one thing bothers me. What? Who was it that first told us about their relationship? Better stated, Miss Andrews' dependency issues with regards to Miss Impact's. It was Edgeworth. It was Edgeworth. It looks like he's still the one in command of this ship. Don't let your guard down yet. We hit our follower goal for the day. Yay! Mega Susworth. Hey, come here, Uther. Come here. She moved. The bed's empty. Come here. Oh, come here, Fuzzhead. Let's see if you'll actually stay. Here. Whoops. Here. Look, the bed's empty. Do you want to hang out? Or no? He's like, no. Screw you, Mom. I come when I want. Mana's probably going to go drink and then come back and lay in the bed anyway. Alright. Here we go again. 2:25 p.m. District Courtroom number 3. Court will now reconvene. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you please. Ice. The prosecution calls the witness subpoenaed by this court. Miss Adrian Andrews, the person who discovered the crime in Mr. Juan Corrida's room. She's got that f***ing card. What is your occupation? I am the manager of the defendant in this case, Mr. Matt on guard. I see. Now then. Before we begin, Your Honor, I have one request. Yeah, sure. What is it? I'm sure everyone in this room is wondering the same thing, and would love to find out more about my relationship with the victim. After all, it was the topic of a certain weekly magazine recently. No, I have no idea what you mean. I've never even heard of Gossipland. If the judge was ever a prosecution witness, he'd do all my work for me. Anyway, I was wondering if you could please tell us about your relation to the victim. Yes, I was seeing Mr. Corrida. I was also aware of the rivalry that existed between Matt and Juan, but this was a private matter between Juan and myself. So it was a fry and bait matter, or was that bait and fry? Reminds me of fishing. But I didn't kill him. No one is accusing you of that. I think there's someone who would beg to differ. I think we all understand your relationship with the victim now, Miss Andrews. Very well then. Witness, please testify to the court about what happened when you discovered the murder that had taken place. When I found the body. It was time for the show to start, so I went to get Matt from his room. After that, I went to Juan's room, and there was his dead body. I was in shock. What I saw was, naturally, the exact same scene as in the crime scene photo. I felt as though I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice. Except, wait, no. The bottle was full. The bottle was full. The bottle of tomato juice in the room was full. You poured yourself a glass of juice? Yes. Sadly, I didn't remember not to touch things at the scene of a crime. And I disturbed the crime scene by moving this one thing. And that is when the fingerprints on the wine glass were made, Your Honor. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Phoenix. She is one cool and collected customer, and she has the brains to match. Yes, I know. In order to catch a person like her, you have to avoid head-on confrontations. You should disrupt her pacing. Disrupt her pacing? She's the type of woman who is easily thrown off by things inconsistent with her thinking, so you have to attack when she least expects it. The instant you let up on your offense is the instant this trial is over, understand? Alright, let me press. All the press. Pressing. It's time for the show to start, so I went to get Matt from his room. And what was Mr. On Guard doing at the time? He was taking a nap. He was worn out from his mini performance as the nickel ceramide during the ceremony. I need to check laundry, but I don't want to miss anything. No, it's hard. It's hard. It's very intense. It's very intense. Mr. On Guard did say he was taking a nap. Then I guess you could say it could not have been taken out of his room, yes? Excuse me? What are you talking about? Right. I thought years of school would have taught you how to construct a sentence. If you can't make a sensible sentence with a subject, then I'll make one for you. Watch. Did you, Miss Andrews, remove Mr. On Guard's knife from his room? No. Subject, verb, object, right? Did you skip basic grammar? The witness may continue. After that, I went to Juan's room. And why did you do that? As a friendly gesture. Juan was to make an appearance with the other heroes. So the show is supposed to be a show of friendship, huh? Press further. Is that the only reason? I beg your pardon? What are you implying? You had a certain goal in mind when you started to get close to him, correct? So perhaps you had a more personal matter to discuss with the victim? ... Sorry, but I didn't have any such intentions in mind at the time. I can't get her to talk without a strong piece of evidence, I guess. I don't like breaking promises. And there was his dead body. I was in shock. You were in shock? What? Was I not supposed to be? Miss Andrews is a very calculating person, and despite how close they were, I doubt she had romantic feelings for Mr. Kurita. Anyone randomly stumbling upon a dead body would be in shock, and you can't seriously expect that a young beauty like her would not be shocked. Somehow, I don't think beauty has anything to do with being shocked or not. I see. What I saw was naturally the exact same scene as in the crime scene photo. This is the photo you're referring to, correct? Yes, the one with the knife lodged in his chest. And the guitar case was like this too? Yes, it was open and empty, of course. And then what did you do next, witness? I felt as though I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice. Juice? Yes, there was a bottle of tomato juice on the table, so I helped myself. But you didn't drink any of it, did you? Huh? There were no lip marks left on this wine glass to suggest that anyone drank from it. I wasn't feeling terribly great. Excuse me. So I set the glass down without drinking it. Miss Andrews, I would like to confirm with you one more time. When you discovered the dead body of Juan Carita, you were in great shock. And that's when you poured yourself the glass of juice, correct? And what of it? My mind really was a complete blank at the time. Your mind was a complete blank? I didn't think that was possible for you. Aren't you rude today? I was so dazed I made one careless mistake. That one thing. What one thing? Never mind. It's no big deal. What was she starting to say just now? Press further. Miss Andrews, I'm convinced that, as you said, you made a mistake at the scene of the crime. ... What I really want to know is what this mistake was. Actually, so would I. I'm sorry, it's kind of embarrassing. When I set the glass down on the dresser, I accidentally knocked the flower vase over. Except that, no, because that... Put flower vase? Are you talking about the one on the floor in the crime photo? But that's impossible because there was water on the lid of the guitar case. I have been waiting. I have been waiting to be able to talk about the water on the lid of the guitar case, and she has given me the perfect opportunity to do so. This mess of glass shards? It was originally on top of the dresser. But when I bumped into it with my elbow, it fell onto the guitar case. Well, why did you withhold such an important piece of information? I'm sorry. I thought that since the crime scene was already in disarray, that people would simply assume the vase was just another part of the mess. It looks like yet another fact has come to light here. Please add this and anything else you have to reveal to your testimony. I'm sorry, but I have nothing more to add. I didn't touch anything else. ... I was the one who knocked the flower vase over where it fell onto the guitar case. ... Do we press here? Or do we just go for it? You know what? We'll press. We press everything. What kind of flower vase was it? It was a glass vase, and it was fairly big and heavy. I thought I would try to take Juan's pulse, so I set the glass I was holding down on the dresser, and that's when my elbow accidentally hit the vase. That's odd. I thought she was always in total control of herself. That's what she would like people to think. Always be mindful of the gap between your perception and reality. Doesn't sound like there's any glaring contradictions in her testimony just now, except there is. I warned you earlier she would not crack so easily. The only way to make her is to keep on the offensive and not let up. The only way you're going to catch her is with some very strong, decisive evidence. I have to find something. I just have to. For Maya's sake. We have something. Here we go. Alright. We're gonna, it's the case. It's the guitar case. I've been waiting for this moment. Also, I'm gonna save really quick. I like to save after there's a lot of dialogue. Two, okay. Presents. And she said she didn't touch anything else. Let me go check on. Okay, you know what? We're gonna take a minute. Hi, everybody. How are you doing? We love Trombone. We're gonna let Trombone go check their laundry. I'm gonna take a drink out of my drink. We're going to check in with everybody. See how everybody's doing. It's been a long stream. I love how my hair is like standing straight up off my head. It's fantastic. It's the best. Yeah. How are we doing? I think it's been a really good stream so far. God only knows when it's going to actually end. Considering the fact that we've been up for almost 5.5 hours. Yep. Never gonna end. Never. It's endless. Endless. Is it a horrible thought that is a spoiler? Mizzy Cat Samar, right? Mizzy Cat ASMR. I just have to get really close to the mic. And I talk like this in this very nice, controlled, whatever, whatever. Okay. Back for another 40 minutes. All right. I waited for you. See? Like, I am more than willing to take a second if people need me to take a second. I try to be very accommodating. It's fine. I am here forever, so what's another 2 minutes for me? All right, guitar case. You testified that you knocked the flower vase over. Is this correct? Yes. And are you sure it fell on the guitar case? Is there some problem with what I said? Drink water. It's not some problem. It's a major problem. It's true that the top of the guitar case was wet with water. However, that's exactly what is so strange. Thank you for that, Hydrate. Miss Andrews, you testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case. However, if that was true, the case should have gotten wet on the inside, not the outside. But that's very true. Furthermore, there is only one other strange thing about this guitar case. What is that? Permanent Mizzy Cat, basically. Let's take another look at the crime scene photo. The remains of the vase are scattered on the floor. And what is wrong with that? If the guitar case was open when the vase fell, the glass shards should be inside, not outside the case. Ah. What is your point, Wright? That the case was closed at the time the vase was knocked over? Is that all? No. Think back to what Miss Andrews testified to. She said that other than the vase, she didn't touch anything else. Yes, that's right. She did implicitly say she didn't touch the guitar case. But this whole matter with the guitar case is a dead end. The bright red guitar was found at the studio. It has no bearing on this case at all. ... That may very well be. However, the empty guitar case does seem to have no relation to this case, doesn't it? But it does. It seems there is no deeper meaning to the guitar case. Well, Mr. Wright, do you think we need to hear more details about the guitar case? Yeah, make her testify. The empty guitar case. I believe this is a crucial piece of the puzzle. Heh, I can't believe anyone would reach for straws like this. But it is you. I can't believe I'm doing this either. Alright, I'll follow along for now. Miss Andrews, please testify to the court about the guitar case. Yes, Your Honor. I mean, it's very easy for her to open the guitar case if she has gloves on. Because only his fingerprints were on the guitar case. I don't remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed. I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the vase over. It's not a big deal though, right? The case was empty after all. As for why I opened the case, even I don't know. Except, no, we got you now. That's it. It looks like this really wasn't a very important point. This wastefulness is such a familiar feeling by now that it's almost comforting. Anyway, I'll just go ahead and start the cross-examination. Using any way to change the topic. A convenient escape for a weak man. Call me weak. Rude. Da-da-na-na-na-na. I don't remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed. Do we want to press on all this? We know what the answer is. We're going to use the guitar case to show that there's fingerprints. During your testimony just now, did you remember those events clearly in your mind? Hey, Edgeworth, can you stop being a dick? Okay, thanks, bye. Right, yep. Well, you see... Are you sure you are the one who opened the guitar case? ... She's waiting for someone to tell her if she should answer or not. Sounds like her dependent side is taking over. Well, Miss Andrews? Yes, it was me. I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the vase over. So, you opened the guitar case then? Yes, well, maybe. ... Why did you open the guitar case? Huh? Mr. Karina's dead body was right there in front of you, wasn't it? I would think that the first thing you would do is call for help, not open a guitar case. As the witness has said multiple times, when she found the dead body, she was dazed. Maybe I was curious to know if the bright red guitar was alright or not. I thought maybe the criminal took it. Why would she care about the bright red guitar? But getting back on topic... It's not a big deal though, right? The case was empty after all. Was it really empty? Question mark. I was just wondering if maybe when you opened the case, the guitar was still inside. Except we know that it wasn't. Phoenix, don't be dumb. How long have you been a lawyer, Mr. Wright? Have a little professionalism? The bright red guitar was found at the studio. These trials would be over in half the time if you would just pay attention. Just pay it more attention, Mr. Wright. Sorry. As for why I opened the case, even I don't know. We're going to press on that too, and then we're going to be like, hey, here's the guitar case that doesn't have your fingerprints. Is it because you were shocked and dazed at discovering the victim's body? Yes, that's probably it. I'm not going to get anywhere if I continue pressing her like this. The only way to make her talk is with evidence. Guess I should give it a try. Come on, Phoenix. We can't afford to let up on her now. I wasn't planning on letting up, but she's at her weakest now, so this is our chance. Yeah, if we had a weapon to hit her with. We have it. I mean, that's also... Don't hit people with weapons, please. I'm sure a weapon is hiding somewhere in the court record waiting to be found. No, I know where it is. I don't need to find it. Da-da-da-da-da. Present the guitar case. Because it doesn't have her fingerprints on it. Okay, bye. There is no way you were the one who opened the guitar case. Why would you say that? It's elementary, my dear. Because the only fingerprints on this guitar case are those of the victim. Ah! That means you have to have gloves on. What is it, Miss Andrews? ... Don't hit people with weapons, please, especially in the middle of the courtroom. You shouldn't assume I must have left prints just because I touched the case. What do you mean? What if I were to tell you I was wearing gloves at the time? Then why were your fingerprints on the glass? Gloves? But why would you be wearing gloves at the time? It was the night of the award ceremony, so of course I dressed up for the occasion. Yes, now I remember. I'm almost sure I was wearing a pair of thin gloves. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, it seems the witness was wearing gloves at the scene of the crime. That's strange. You were wearing gloves? Isn't that a little strange? Why is that strange? Do you have something that would prove I was not wearing gloves at the time? La 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 la. It's your juice glass there. Your juice glass. I have your proof right here. This wine glass. The wine glass? You left your fingerprints very clearly on this wine glass. Even if you took your gloves off when you poured yourself this glass of juice, wouldn't you think it was just a little strange that you put your gloves back on just to open the guitar case? She broke her glasses. She got so stressed. Look, I've been very stressed in my life. I've never been so stressed my glasses shattered off. I do like her pants, though. Order, order, order! Looks like you hit the nail on the head this time. Question mark? What do you mean? Bigger thing of note, though. Like, I'm just saying. There's a lot of things of note here. I believe that guitar case plays a very important role here. But it's just an empty case. I wonder if it really was empty, though. But the guitar, the bright red guitar was at the studio. Phoenix, drop all of your presumptions. What was in the guitar case was not the bright red guitar. You don't mean it was a bright white guitar? Wait, that's not right either. Phoenix! She gets so stressed it breaks her glasses, and it happens so often she keeps extra pairs of glasses. That's expensive. She must be really well paid. Glasses are expensive. I admit it would be unnatural for someone to do that. So the witness was not wearing gloves, despite the fact that on the case... Your Honor, this is obviously the defense's usual misdirection tactic at work. Steer the court towards an unrelated topic and lull us all into his misguided... No, Your Honor. Please recall that Miss Andrews had testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case, which means that the case was closed when the crime took place. However, it is wide open in this photo of the crime scene. I am sure this guitar case has some relation to the murder. If you are so sure, Wright, then I'm sure you can somehow substantiate your outrageous claim, correct? Please enlighten us as to why that guitar case has anything at all to do with this murder. Can you do that, Mr. Wright? Well, let's suppose for a second that the bright red guitar was not the only thing that could have been in the case. The bright red guitar not being the only thing? You don't mean to suggest that a bright black guitar was a... God, we're all dumb. So you intend to push your theory that the case was not empty? Is that it, Mr. Wright? I wouldn't say something I didn't intend to prove. Deflate that head of yours. You haven't proven anything yet. Now then, let's have it. What was inside this case at the time of the murder? What was inside this case at the time of the murder? That's a good question. We still don't have an answer for this, by the way. I think that confess something was probably retirement, but I don't know. We still don't have an answer for this. So the supposition is that the suicide note, right? So maybe the suicide note report is what we were supposed to present here. We're only going to lose 1 health if we get it wrong, and we can always save. So, because it definitely wasn't the knife. I guess we'll try this, because that's what my gut says. And why would something like that be inside a guitar case, let alone this one? Why, Mr. Wright, why? Well, I just, oh my god. Phoenix. Alright. So that's not it. Never bring it out again. Put the void where your brain should... Put it in the void where your brain should be. Okay. Fan of foolishly foolish fool. Get some love. Do you still think you can prove your theory? Can you prove the guitar case was not empty at the time of the murder? I wouldn't say something I didn't intend to prove. We can't prove that. We can't actually prove that. Currently. Like, we can't actually prove that. But it won't let me not... We don't have anything on us that would be... something related to a person. I mean, yeah. But, like, they're asking what was in the guitar case. I did the suicide report because they talk about the suicide note. Because that's what I think it was in the guitar case. I think the suicide note was in the guitar case. Where's this picture? I mean, the case was definitely empty. It would have to be something the guitar wouldn't fit with. I mean, yeah. I don't have anything that big as evidence. Except the camera, but, like, we've already established that Old Bag stole the camera. So... I mean, maybe the wine glass was in there? But that doesn't make any sense. But where else would the glass come from, actually? Like, hear me out. So, the entire of the top of the dresser was completely swept, right? So, like... where did she pull the glass from? And if she was wearing gloves and she pulled out the glass and set it down on there, whatever, then yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess I'm gonna try her, because, like, then we can talk about the suicide note, I guess. I have no idea. This is very confusing. Yeah, she would have to take the gloves off, so. And it won't let me say no. It won't let me say that there's nothing in there. I mean, we have lots of health, so. Yeah, so even if we go through our health here, it's like whatever. So I don't understand the logic of what they're asking for. No. Yeah, no. Because I think that the something that the guitar wouldn't fit with, like, oh my god. How big is this guitar case? It's a guitar case. There's no way. No, because she had to... I don't think that that could work. Yeah, she would need to take the gloves off. That doesn't make any sense. This one is tricky. Yeah. I mean, we definitely have the evidence because it's gonna make us keep doing stuff. I'm gonna try this, and if this is right, first of all, I'm gonna be grumpy about it, and secondly, I'm gonna reload so I can get my health back. Yeah, no. Alright, what have we not done? What have we not done at this point? Oh! It's whatever the Nickel Samurai was going to confess. I guarantee that it's whatever the Nickel Samurai was going to confess. Maybe? Nope. I'm wrong again. Son of a bitch. This is the first time I've run into something like this that I've had to like, and I've tested every single piece of evidence and it's nothing of it has worked. So we must be missing something we should know. I mean, I don't feel like the game doesn't hard gate you. So the fact that we can't find it is really like, I mean, we're missing, not that it's not an answer. Okay. Hi. Did you come back after having your drink and your snack? Come on. Come on, Mana. The spare costume. Oh, well, I mean, but we haven't had a spare costume anywhere in... There hasn't been, but I mean, that makes sense. Come on, baby girl. That would make sense if there was an extra costume. I mean, I'm fine with trying it, and if we die, then we die, and we reload, whatever. Oh, god damn it. Hold on. It's the original poster. It's the original poster. It was the original Nickel Samurai poster. Alright, where's my save? Here it is. I am not giving up my entire health. We got a long way to go for me to give up my entire health. Because they've not insinuated at any point that there was an extra costume, so... It would make sense that there was. Because he's taking a nap, right? He's taking a nap and he's in his costume. It doesn't necessarily make sense that the costume would be in the guitar case of his rival. Unless she put it in there. But yeah. So anyway. Nice call, Kai. This is a photograph. Yes, but what is important is what is in that picture, Your Honor. In this picture? It doesn't take a genius to see what I mean. What I am proposing is... In the guitar case was the Nickel Samurai. The hero's very own costume. What? Yeah, he's taking a nap, and they saw... There's a picture of him walking between the rooms. There has to be a second costume. There has to be. Unless she stripped him to his skivvies, and then put his clothes back on him. Which would only work if she drugged him. Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Wright, are you saying the witness opened the guitar case to take out a costume? What insane point would there be in doing something like that? That insane point would be to wear the costume, of course. Miss Andrews put it on to hide her identity so she could make her escape. After all, you couldn't let anyone see you leave, could you, Miss Andrews? Exclamation point. I refuse to accept your theory. Do you have anything to support such a preposterous idea? Just outside the door was an investigative reporter who was starving for a big scoop. And in the end, she managed to get this shot, correct? You mean this photo? Order, order! It looks like we've wandered into quite another mess again, haven't we? Nice job, Phoenix. Well, you know my strategy. Speak first, think later. So the real murderer was hiding inside a costume. Well, wait 1 second, Your Honor. The Nickel Samurai's costume would have been Mr. Matt on guard's. Why would something of the defendant's be in the victim's room? This is what I'm saying. And inside the guitar case, of all places. True. That is a little baffling. Wait a minute. Hear me out. So what if the reason that she didn't really know, the reason that Matt did not know anything about the press conference that was supposed to be after is because he was not going to be the one in the Steel Samurai costume for that press conference. Because the press conference was supposed to be done in costume, remember? So what if he was not the one that was supposed to be in that costume? Mr. Wright, the court would like to hear your thoughts. What was this nickel samurai costume doing inside the guitar case? It was a spare costume. Because I'm pretty sure that yeah. It was a spare because he's not, obviously, he was still wearing his. Mr. On Guard did not take his costume off during the break period. In that case, the costume we are talking about was a spare one. What? Then are you saying that on the night of the murder, there were 2 nickel samurai costumes at the Gatewater Hotel? Yes, that is what I'm saying. And how do you explain the costume that was inside the guitar case? It would mean the victim himself had brought this spare to the ceremony on purpose. But why? The victim, Mr. Kurita, was the Jammin' Ninja. Why would he secretly bring the nickel samurai spare costume with him? What could be the reason behind such a peculiar act? And therein lies the sticking point. Also, it's because she asked him to. What are you mumbling to yourself about now? Have you just been rambling all this time without any sense of inner monologue? Huh? No, I just... Mr. Wright, please explain yourself. Why do you think the victim had the nickel samurai spare costume? Phoenix, are you sure you can explain this one? I mean, I can explain it. Is anybody gonna listen to me? No, but I can explain it. Think carefully before you answer. And then answer with gusto. I believe in you. Alright, this is what I think. The reason the victim brought the nickel samurai's spare costume to the hotel was this fucking press conference. Finally! What is this? On the night of the murder, after the stage show, the nickel samurai was going to hold a special press conference. A press conference? Yes, the nickel samurai was supposed to confess something at this conference. I heard about this as well. For once, you're not making something up, right? Who are you again, right? But what struck me as strange was that Mr. On Guard himself said he had no idea he was supposed to be holding a press conference that night. ... But how can that be? The way I see it, that can mean only one thing. The conference was set up by none other than the victim, Mr. Juan Kurita himself. The victim? Yes. The spare nickel samurai costume was prepared for that very conference. Mr. Kurita was going to hold the press conference as the nickel samurai. He was going to dress up as the nickel samurai and hold a conference? But why would the victim do such a thing? That's something I don't quite know yet. However, what I am concerned with right now is what he intended to reveal at that conference. The nickel samurai was going to confess something. And by confess, I'd wager he was going to reveal something about himself. Which means that Juan Kurita, posing at the nickel samurai, was going to speak about Matt On Guard. Yes, I guess that is what it would mean. But if that's the case, that's not a confession. That's public disclosure. But, Miss Andrews? I can see why you are pros at what you do. Pardon me? Yes, just as you say. The press conference was set up by Juan. Miss Andrews, please offer us an explanation for this. I was the one he asked to help set it up. And the person who prepared the second costume for him, that was also me. You? Juan had bet everything on the Jammin' Ninja this year. And if he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought anyway. He was going to ruin him, huh? It looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. What? And do you know what the secret of Mr. On Guard's is, Miss Andrews? ... I'm gonna say, because of his reaction when we showed him the picture of her mentor that killed herself, I'm gonna say that she killed herself because he broke up with her or ended her engagement or something like that. He severed their relationship, and that is why she did that. And it was in her suicide note, and Juan took that note, so he saw the contents of the note and was intending to expose that he was responsible for her death because of that. Yes, that is my vote. That's something only Juan knew. I don't know what it is. I see. ... I've probably been coming off quite suspicious to everyone. But that's to be expected. I've been trying to protect Matt, after all. Protect Mr. On Guard? And yet again, another strange bit of truth comes to light, it seems. Miss Andrews, if you could, please tell us the truth about your behavior. Even if that's the reason she took her life, it still wouldn't be his fault for breaking up with her. No, that's accurate. 100% accurate. But this is a story, and they love doing shit like this in stories. Yes, Your Honor. I understand. Oh, good. It's time for us to have more testimony to destroy. ASMR, do ASMR. I'm not very good at ASMR, but I can do it if I really need to. I have a very quiet speaking voice, which is actually not that difficult for me to maintain over long periods of time. It's just difficult for it to come out over the music of the game when it's, playing. So when I have a setup where the mic can be very close to my face, I can be even quieter if I so desire. I just want to mention that disclaimer, basically. No. Yeah, no, I feel it. From the moment I saw the crime, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. God. Matt had to kill Juan no matter what. And he didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course. The button and the knife. But I'm Matt's manager, so I felt I had to protect him. And he said ASMR, not flight announcement. I mean, I don't do ASMR. I'm not an ASMR streamer. So, I don't know what to tell you. This does account for everything. Well, I am the logical type. We're finally seeing her true self. She is more nervous than a scared rabbit. If the defense can find no fault with this testimony, I'm ready to make a ruling. Yeah, I can find fault with that shit. Please keep that in mind as you cross-examine Mr. Wright. Looks like somehow everything is swung to the opposite ends of the scale again. That just means I have to put my weight into this and turn her logic upside down. Alright. Alright, we're gonna do some press. We're gonna press here. From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. Would you say it was your intuition speaking to you? Don't confuse my methods of reasoning with your own. Ugh. If you want to prove that someone did something, you need 3 things. 3 things? A motive, an opportunity to commit the crime, and finally, decisive evidence. And if you think these 3 things through, the answer becomes quite clear. You should have already known that, Phoenix. They didn't teach that to us in school, at least not from what I remember. May I continue now? Matt had to kill Juan no matter what. Matt didn't even know the press conference was happening, so why would he... He didn't know. So would you say this need came from the press conference? Yes. Do you know why Juan chose that event and that hotel for the conference? Because that was when he could cause the most damage to the public's beloved Matt on Guard. And you knew of this plan, didn't you, Miss Andrews? Yes, because I was the one who set up the conference and prepared the costume. But I'm sure Mr. On Guard himself didn't know anything about the press conference. Oh, really? Can you show me any proof that he didn't know about the press conference? Anyway, the important thing here is that this information was not in your testimony. Yes, I agree. Miss Andrews, please correct your testimony, if you please. Grasping at straws now, are we, Mr. Wright? I know what his motive was, but I don't have any way to prove I'm right. Has Mr. On Guard done something to hurt or betray you personally? ... Why do you ask? You were the one who helped Mr. Kuroda with his press conference. And that event was supposed to bring down Mr. On Guard, yet you still helped out. ... The person on trial right now is Mr. On Guard, right? What the witness was thinking, helping the victim with his plan, is none of our concern. I mean, that's true. That's not true. In any case, this means the defendant had a motive to kill. Hi, baby girl. Come on. Hi. Come here, love bug. Hi, baby. Tiny Muse. Hmm? What? Hi. Excuse me, Missy. Hi. Why do I keep doing this to myself? And he didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. Right? Soxy's adorable. She's very cute. Hi. I know it. Just have to kind of avoid the stream deck. Hi. Hi, baby girl. But didn't you already testify earlier that Mr. On Guard was taking a nap in his room? Are you telling me now that that too was a lie so you can cover for Mr. On Guard? I'm not telling you anything of the sort. I actually volunteer now at a rescue shelter twice a week where I help take care of a bunch of cats, and it's really hard because I want to adopt all of them because they all deserve to have loving homes. I would adopt every single cat. I would do it. Hey. I know. What? What? Missy? Hmm? I know. Life's hard. Mom's mean. She's been working too long. I know. Ow. No. I need like 3 rooms for cats. Look, I know. That's why, and I can't do it. I can't adopt a whole bunch more cats, but I want to. But I want to. When I went to get him for the show, he honestly was sleeping. However, as to whether he was sleeping the entire time, that I cannot say. I was too busy setting up the stage at the time. I keep trying, but I can find no flaws with what Miss Andrews has said. I can't say the same for some people here in this courtroom. Can we not? Oh, jeez. Oh, okay. Stream's still live. They just full foot ran across my stream deck, so I was like, oh god. The judge is glaring straight at Mia. He's glaring at you, smart guy. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course, the button and the knife. Wait. How did you know about the button? How... To be honest, I'm inspired by you. You make me want to stream. I want everybody to do whatever it is that makes them happy and have fun. And for some people, it's streaming, and for some people, it's crafting, and for some people, it's dancing, and I don't care. Whatever you do, I want you to do it and have fun and live your life. Life is too short to not live your life. Like, that is my big thing. I want everybody to live their life to the fullest. It's too short. Life is too short to not live your life to the fullest. Also, she's so full of crap. You can hardly call the knife decisive evidence. The fingerprints on the knife could very well be a claim or camouflage. Then, what about the button? The button? It's clear from the crime scene that the victim and his murderer fought. And during the fight, the killer ripped the button from the Jam Ninja's costume. You're talking about this button, correct? You didn't know that. When you saw the crime scene, you didn't know. That button was found in the pleats of Matt's Hakama, isn't that correct? I would think that makes it very decisive evidence. No, we're gonna... A knife doesn't prove a thing. Please fix your testimony. I can't stand the sight of a man who can't gracefully accept his defeat. Dot, dot, dot. Dot, dot, dot. Thank goodness Mia could still look at me. With an icy stare. Yes. Is she a mind reader too? Miss Andrews, for Mr. Wright's sake, please add this information to your testimony. That button was torn off of Juan during his fight with Matt. You don't know that for sure. Okay. But I'm Matt's manager, so I felt that I had to protect him. Alright, let's press here, and then we're gonna hit it with the button. What you really did was stab the guy in the back, didn't you? And at the worst possible time. Exclamation point. Hi, did you come back? I know, she ran you off. Your bed is empty, because she abandoned it. Come on. Come on. Come on, little girl. This is why you bother me all the time when I'm not working. I know. You do what you want, Mana. Alright. Who's to say she really stabbed the guy in the back, as you put it? This witness could have disclosed things about Mr. On Guard at any time. I know, right? The knife didn't kill him. Doesn't make any sense. Why, then, would she wait until there was a large audience before doing so? It's the same reason why Mr. Kurita planned such an elaborate conference. Miss Andrews wanted to cause Mr. On Guard as much damage as she possibly could. This witness bears ill will toward the defendant. This isn't the Phoenix Wright wax philosophical power hour. And please, stop slandering the witness. Dot, dot, dot. As I expected, Miss Andrews' testimony seems pretty solid. Really? Because to me, it sounded a little wishy-washy. Wishy-washy? Well, I guess we'll see if I press a little more. You should know this by now. But you'll need strong, decisive evidence to make her talk. Got it, Chief. I'm gonna pin you down this time, Miss Andrews. Whoa. Alright. So, let's, phrasing. So, let's, go here. Let's see. We didn't press on the that button was torn off one. We'll do that real quick. How do you know that? The ends of the threads on the button and the costume were matched up. They were found to fit together perfectly, or so I heard. I've heard that before, too. But why would Miss Andrews know about this case down to such a fine detail? Don't look at me like that, just because I'm prepared and you're not. Ugh. And I thought I had her this time for sure. We do. If there's anything to trip her up on, it has to be here. But where and what? Oh, no, we got you. We're gonna back up. Excuse me. Back up. I must head off before I can find out what happens. I might be back. I will tell you that the VoD will be up for at least 2 months. And it will be uploaded to YouTube. But if you come back, hit the recap, and I will let you know. God only knows how much longer I'll be going. I have no idea how long this is, so, you know, whatever. Also, take that. Your Honor. What do you think about the witness's statement? Wait, I'm not sure I follow you. Clearly contradicts. Oh, that's not... No, but we know that that's what it is. I didn't save. Son of a bitch. Wait, did I save? I don't remember if I saved. I saved right when we started this. But, it's fine. Okay. Anyway, it's whatever. We only need the save if we die completely. I'm too stubborn. He's strangled with a scarf and then stabbed with a knife. So, no, he was dead. The button was torn off after he was dead. Pretty sure. Yeah, he was already dead. This is the victim's autopsy report. It clearly states that the cause of death was strangulation by a scarf. Strangulation? The knife stab to the victim was done after the victim had already died. And what does that mean? Let's examine the evidence. This button has the victim's blood on it. Which would mean it was ripped off of the costume. When? After the knife was stabbed into the victim. Exactly. Which means... it is impossible that this button was torn off during the victim's final struggle. Because the victim was strangled to death in that fight. Ugh. That's right, Miss Andrews. There is no way this button was ripped off during the struggle. This button was consciously pulled off of the victim's already dead body. And how did you know about it? How did you know about it, bitch? Order, order. What is the meaning of this, Wright? So what if the button was torn off the body after the victim had already died? What does that change? Let me ask you one simple question, Mr. Edgeworth. Why was the button torn off? What purpose did that serve? What purpose? We now know this button was not torn off during the fight. So the murderer took the time and effort to purposely rip it from the victim's body. That would mean that the murderer had something in mind, wouldn't it? Mr. Wright, does this mean you know what the murderer wanted to do with this button? What was it? To pin the crime on guard. It's a plant. There is only one logical reason for doing something like that. It was to pin the crime on Mr. On Guard. ... There is no way anyone would pull a bloody button. Nobody would put a bloody button into their own pants. That's right. Mr. On Guard was set up. By the real killer, of course. And the real murderer is... Well, Mr. Wright, who in the world is the real killer, then? Finally. I can't believe I managed to bring this trial all the way up to this point. Phoenix, you can't let your guard down yet. Not until the very end. The real killer, the person who planned to frame Mr. On Guard, is... So I have an interesting theory in mind that I'm gonna wax poetic on for a second. And I don't know how accurate this is. But I don't know. It's hard because it would be interesting if Juan actually planned this. Like he lost and it was the final straw. But I also think that it was that the suicide note had something to do with Matt. And Adrian killed Juan, and it wasn't to protect Matt, it was to protect Celeste. And to keep that from coming out. I think that would be probably a big part of it, honestly. Alright, we're just gonna go ahead and, because this is what the game wants us to do. Miss Adrian Andrews. I choose you. You are Mr. Kurita's killer. I choose you. This is Pokemon? What? Order, order, order! Mr. Wright! This is a very grave matter. Do you have any evidence that supports your charge? Any evidence? All of the evidence points to Miss Andrews. Well, how preposterous. You can't stick any of that on me. Not a name your stick starter Pokemon, right? I can't I? Would you care to test me? Then what about this knife? The knife was used to stab the victim after he'd already been strangled to death. It was used to throw suspicion on Mr. On Guard, naturally. A knife covered in the defendant's fingerprints could only be taken from his room. And the only one who had dinner with him and knew which knife to take was you. Yeah, because that's a good point. She also ate in that room, and it's not her knife that was taken. It was his. Then, what about the button that was found in Matt's Hakama? This button was removed from the victim's body after he had already died. The only people who have done so were the person who found his body or the killer. However, if Mr. On Guard was the real killer, there is no way he would have put such incriminating evidence in his own Hakama. Ugh! The only person who could have put this button into Mr. On Guard's Hakama, or Hakama, probably, is the person who went to wake him from his nap, which is yet again, you, Miss Andrews. I see. What about the empty guitar case? That is also another piece of evidence that incriminates Miss Andrews. That costume was used to hide the real killer's identity as they fled the crime scene. Now, who could have known there was just such a costume inside the guitar case? It could only have been the person who prepared the costume for the victim. And that person is you, Miss Adrian Andrews. No, But Miss Andrews' fingerprints were nowhere to be found on the guitar case. And it was you who proved that she was not wearing gloves at the time. That's right. That's because she did not intend on leaving any prints. If anyone had found out she had touched the case, they would have asked her why. So to avoid leaving any prints, she used a towel or something else to open it. But the glass of tomato juice is a different story. Miss Andrews purposely left her fingerprints on the glass to show that, yes, indeed, she was the classic dazed discoverer of a dead body. And to top it all off, there is this photo. By the way, there's no way that this is the end of this case. There's no way that this is the end of this case. There's no way. I have no idea how long we're going to be here, but there's no way this is the end. There's no way. And to top it all off, there is this photo. They have never tied these things up this neatly in 2.2. A photo of the killer as they exited the scene of the crime. No reasonable person on Earth can believe this nickel samurai is Mr. On Guard. He would be much too short for his own costume if it was him. Speaking of how tall people are, Miss Andrews, you're also kind of short in stature, are you not? Please, stop. Well, how about it, Miss Andrews? Got her this time. ... Miss Andrews? I refuse to testify. What was that? There's a law. It says I can't be forced to testify about something if it can incriminate me. Oh, she's pleading the fifth. Well, yes. You are absolutely correct, Miss Andrews. The law does provide us with a way to avoid self-incrimination by allowing a witness to not testify if the testimony can cause damage to themselves. What? Pleading the fifth is not something most people would think to do on the spot. Actually, thinking back to yesterday in Mr. Engard's room. Adrian Andrews. Yes? Think hard about what we just discussed. Understood? All right. Been too easy for a case, right? That's it. That's when Franziska planted this idea into her head. She must have told Miss Andrews to not testify if things look bad. No, yeah, no. Von Karma is screwing us over and she's not even here. You did a good job proving everything up to this point, Phoenix. But there is still one thing you haven't done. Something I haven't done. What's wrong, Wright? Are you finished already? Run out of evidence? What is so humorous, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sure you realize this as well, Your Honor. But everything the good lawyer here has proven up to this point is meaningless. What? Everything you have proven is circumstantial. Circumstantial? Yes, circumstantial. You have yet to provide a single piece of definitive proof. Proof that Miss Andrews did in fact harbor a wish to murder Mr. Kurita. Oh, God. Miss Andrews, did you want to kill Mr. Kurita? I believe this may lead to me incriminating myself, so I will abstain from answering. But, Miss Andrews, if you do that, it would be the same as admitting your guilt, don't you think? Maybe so, or maybe not. There is nothing to prove it either way. Besides, you don't even know what crime I would be guilty of due to my silence. No, she's taking that defiant attitude again. Mia, what should we do? Somehow, we've landed in the worst possible situation. I think we have reached a certain conclusion at this point in time. Miss Adrian Andrews has refused to testify, and the defense's theory that she is the actual murderer has not been fully substantiated with solid, definitive proof. But that's not true! In this situation, there is only one thing this court can do, and that is to declare a recess. Recess? I request that both the prosecution and the defense look further into this matter. And at tomorrow's trial... Tomorrow? We don't have a tomorrow. If we don't get a not very guilty today, then... Please wait, Your Honor. That's not necessary. The trial. Please continue the trial. What are you sweating for? Your client is getting one more day to live, isn't he? That's not it. This isn't about that. Edgeworth, I know you know who the real killer is. Please, let the trial continue. If I don't get the verdict, then Maya. Edgeworth doesn't know. But it's impossible to continue as long as the witness refuses to testify. Now then, this court is... It is not impossible for this trial to continue. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you... It's true, Miss Andrews holds the right against self-incrimination. However, if the topic of conversation were something unrelated to whatever she may be guilty of, then she has no right to withhold testimony. Yes, that is very true, but... Actually, there is one little thing I'm curious about. Miss Andrews... ... When you found the victim's dead body, you poured yourself a glass of juice. Yes, and... I can't help but think how unnatural that is. Usually when one finds a body, they are shaken up, not stirring a glass of juice. So my actions were unusual? But I've already... Before you speak, I want to state that if you have a reason behind your actions, I would like you to testify to that effect. Testify? Your Honor, I would like to request that the witness testify again as to what happened when she first discovered the victim's body. Aw, yeah, Edgeworth, here we go, here we go. Whatever we find out in this testimony should in no way implicate the witness. Unless she's a murderer. I don't know what it is about Edgeworth today, but I can't get a good read off of him. Is he friend or foe? I just don't know. The court acknowledges the prosecution's request. Miss Andrews, if you please. That glass of juice. I didn't really pour it for myself. I was surprised when I walked in the room and saw it in that messy state. And Juan, he was sitting slumped over and tired looking in the corner. He had a knife sticking out of his chest. Or are you saying he didn't have a knife sticking out of his chest? When I saw him sitting like that, the thought that he was dead didn't cross my mind. To be honest, I thought he had just fainted or something, so I went to pour him some juice. And when I realized that he was dead, that's when I knocked the flower vase over. So you poured that glass of juice for the victim. Why didn't you say so in your earlier testimony? I didn't think I needed to include something so trivial. How is that trivial? Phoenix, please be careful here. If you can't find anything wrong with this testimony, then there's nothing left. I know. Edgeworth, what the heck is going on in that brain of yours? Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Alright. Glass of juice, I didn't really pour it for myself. But there wasn't anyone else in the room, right? Of course not. Then who did you pour it for? Mr. Wright, there is a rhyme and reason for everything. Can you wait just a little longer for it to be revealed to you? In other words, Wright, be quiet and listen. Precisely. I couldn't have said it better myself. A little rude. I was surprised when I walked into the room and saw it in that messy state. Okay, we're gonna... I gotta remember that I have to save occasionally. Oh, I didn't press. Hold on. I was surprised when I walked in the room and saw it in that messy state. So, it was a mess? Are you sure it wasn't messy because of your fight with Mr. Kurita? I understand your frustrations at not being able to prove your theory. However, before you go accusing people of crimes, go find yourself some evidence. And then, what did you see next, witness? Juan, he was sitting slumped over and tired in the corner. Slumped over? Yes, he was just sitting there with his head tilted forward, eyes closed. He really looked like he was sleeping. Is it just me, or did that right there sound a little odd? It's the knife. We're gonna use the knife. Or the picture? Maybe the picture? When I saw him sitting like that, the thought he was dead didn't cross my mind. Yeah, no, right? Like, he's got a knife sticking out of his chest. Then what did cross your mind? I thought maybe he had smashed everything up in anger because he lost the Grand Prix. And then felt tired after his rampage, so he decided to take a nap. God, that's awful. Anyways, that's what I thought. I see. So you didn't think he was dead at all? Oh no, we're gonna roast her right now. To be honest, I thought he just fainted or something, so I went to pour him some juice. And tomato juice is not refreshing. At least I don't think so. You thought he fainted? I thought he was asleep at first. But then, the room was in such a messy state. I thought maybe he had gotten into a fight with someone. And that's when you went to pour the glass of juice? Yes, he always has a hard time waking up. So Juan always has a glass of tomato juice to drink. I see. And after that, what happened next? Do all of our pressing. I do this unless the game specifically is like, if you press, you're gonna lose. When he realized he was dead, I realized he was dead, that's when I knocked the flower vase over. And how did you come to realize he was in fact dead? I shook him over and over, but I never got a response. So I set the glass down on the dresser and tried to take his pulse. I was shocked and staggered backward. And knocked the flower vase over. So that's what happened. Yes. Mia's like, this is what it all comes down to. Huh? This is the absolute end for both sides. And Adrian is letting her guard down. Phoenix, now is our best chance yet to kill the prosecution's case. Isn't that a bit harsh? Miss Andrews, will you tell us the truth this time? Alright, so it's either the picture or the knife. I think it's the knife. I feel like the knife is the answer here. Yeah, so I think it's the knife here. Because we do have the picture of the crime scene. Like... And in the picture of the crime scene, he's got the knife, right? Like, it's very obvious. But I think it's the knife. If it's wrong, it's wrong. But, I think it's the knife. Or it's not. It's the picture of the crime scene. You know what? Whatever. It's fine. Whatever. Alright. The thought he was dead didn't even cross my... You know what? I should go with my fucking first instincts. I never go with my first instinct. It always ends up costing me. So mad. So you honestly didn't think he was dead when you found him? No. Not at all. Even though this is what you saw when you discovered the body? Ugh! What is the meaning of this? Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? There's a knife sticking straight out of Mr. Kurita's chest. Anyone who saw this scene would have immediately thought that here was a dead man. Well, you see... I doubt a single person in the world would mistake this for someone who fainted, and then so nonchalantly go pour something to drink. Your point is? Miss Andrews, your testimony just now, it was all one giant lie. Ugh! And your lie has proven one thing very clearly, that you are the real killer. Your testimony cannot be trusted. No! It looks like the defense has somehow brought the ugly truth to light. The defendant, Mr. Matt Ungard, is not guilty after all. But that's impossible. You're wrong. Miss Andrews, try to have some composure. It wasn't me. It wasn't me, I tell you. It was Matt. I swear it. He's the one who killed Juan. But you were the one who refused to testify. And your reason for not doing so was so that you might end up incriminating yourself. That's because... Miss Andrews, I will give you one last chance. What exactly are you hiding that may incriminate you? ... I refuse to testify. There you go. Then there is no need for this court to continue any further. Mr. Matt Ungard's innocence has been clearly demonstrated. Is it over? I'm waiting for Edgewood. I'm waiting for Edgeworth. Come on, Edgeworth. Have we found the truth at last? No. There's no way. What's wrong, Phoenix? Usually the real killer confesses his or her guilt. And now that I think about it, this is the first time someone hasn't. Must be pretty bad if you'd rather be thrown in jail for murder than to incriminate yourself. I mean, that's true. Now then, I would like to hand down my verdict for Mr. Matt Ungard. I knew it was coming. There it is. Your Honor, the prosecution feels that it would be premature to pass down a verdict at this time. What? The reason is quite simple. This witness has yet to speak the absolute, real truth. I mean, that's true. The absolute, real truth? What are you... Witness, don't you understand yet? Huh? I don't know who planted this silly idea in your head. But as long as you protect yourself through your silence, Matt Ungard will go free. And in his place, you will become the guilty party. I did not. I don't like zombies scare me, so I do not play zombie games. I have read a lot of The Walking Dead, actually, or I read a great deal of it at one point. Also very gruesome to read, fun fact. But yes, zombies scare me, so I can't play zombie games. That's a lie. I don't believe you. What? I was told if I spoke, then it would be all over, and Matt would never be declared guilty. What in the world is she talking about? Has she lost it? I can't speak about it. I'm too scared. It's Francesca von Karma. Huh? Don't you remember, Phoenix? Miss Andrews lives by gripping tightly onto the words of another. If you put that game in, I will deny it. No. I will not play games that will intentionally give me horrible screaming nightmares. It is, I don't play zombie games. It's on the list of things I do not play. I will not play games that will give me screaming nightmares. My mental health is more important than that. And zombie games give me horrible screaming nightmares. Like, actually screaming. I will not. I will not intentionally... Like, I can barely play games that have zombies. Games that are all about zombies, I can't do it. I don't watch zombie shows. I've never watched The Walking Dead, and that is why. So, I won't. And I don't like to be like that. I don't like to be like a hard no. But there are things that are a hard no, and that is one of them. Like, a good example is Cult of the Lamb. I love Cult of the Lamb. Game is super fun. I had no idea that the last area in Cult of the Lamb is full of hell spiders. I'm also afraid of spiders. I had nightmares after I played Cult of the Lamb last time because of the spiders. But, like, I've already started that game, and I don't have to grind that area over and over again. So if I can just get through that part, then that's okay. So, but yeah, like, I would have had reservations about playing that game if I had realized that the last area is full of spiders. So, but, yeah. So, that's just Sorry, didn't mean to come out really harsh for a second there, but like, there are certain things that scare me really bad, and I will not put myself in a situation where I'm like, I feel harsh when I stand up for myself. I feel harsh when I stand up for myself. I usually am a very accommodating person. So when I have a hard no, I always feel guilty. I still do it, but I feel guilty about it. All right. We gotta keep going. It's 9:36. I've been live for 6.5 hours. I need to take a break soon, and I have no idea when we're gonna be done. So, oh my god, okay. Because she doesn't have the strength to believe in herself. Then right now, Miss Andrews is... Yesterday, she was tossed a lifesaver by Miss Von Karma. Don't say a word, no matter what happens. If you do, Matt on guard will be acquitted. Miss Andrews undyingly believes in those words right now and is clinging on to them. Then what should we do? This is the first time I've ever come across anything like this. So, I mean, yeah. I said at the beginning of the stream, I've done longer streams than this on the reg, and I said at the beginning of the stream I was going to play until it was done. Again, the last time I did this, at the end of the first Phoenix Wright, I did a 13-hour stream, and then I took the next couple of days off. I know what I'm capable and not capable of. I don't make declarations like that unless I know I can do it. I have done it multiple times, actually. For Corpse Party, for Phoenix Wright. Let's see, what else? What other really long streams have I done? I mean, I know I can do it. God only knows when I'm actually going to be done. I'm going to see a gamut of everybody coming through today. Someone get Barbara to sing in here, right? Give me a tune, I can do it. This is the first time I've ever come across anything like this. Yeah, no, when the story gets good, and my adrenaline is pumping, I don't feel the time anymore. I just don't. But Miss Andrews has to be the killer, right? I would like to point out that I said all along that it was very possible that she was not the killer, and I did not want to put her in for the killer. I mean, maybe Matt is the killer. Maybe Matt is the killer. I mean, I don't know. All we have to do now is get our not guilty. That is my only priority. It wasn't me. I'm begging you, please believe me. I didn't kill Juan. Help, please. Someone help me. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. The court can't continue on like this, therefore I'd like to hear what you intend to do. What I intend to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say? Wright, I suggest you think very carefully about this. Think about what this witness did, and what she did not do. And think about who is the real mastermind behind this crime. Who's the real mastermind? Isn't that obvious? There's nowhere else it could be except the woman crying over there. Right? So... Oh... So hear me out. I don't think she killed him. I don't think she killed him. I think she found him and he was dead. I think what she just said is accurate. When she first went into that room, she didn't think he was dead. She thought he was resting because he was in the chair and slumped over and whatever. And she pours the juice for him because she thinks he's sleeping. She sets it down and goes over and realizes that he's dead. And I think he killed himself. Because I think he tied the thing so tight that it strangled him and it killed him. Because that can happen. Fun fact. You can asphyxiate yourself if you use a tool. I mean, I don't know. I mean, and I could be very wrong. But anyway, so he's dead. So I don't think, regardless of who killed him or how he died, I think he was dead when she went in there. And she didn't kill him. She just staged it. She staged it so that it looked like Matt killed him. I don't know. I think she possibly was going in there to kill him. And that's why she had the knife. But he was already dead when she got... he was already dead when she got there. It's my current conjecture. Come on now. What will you do? What kind of man are you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Oh my god. Okay. I think we're gonna have to... I don't know. I think we're gonna have to... I think we're gonna have to force her to testify. Like, we can request a not guilty verdict, but we can't take that back. Edgeworth, you had the audacity to play dead for a year. What, right? Edgeworth, you're already on our shit list. I'm just saying. Coming in here with your, I now know what my goals are, blah, 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 blah. You're not helping. Okay, we don't care about her testifying, right? All we care about is this not guilty verdict. No matter what she says, Miss Andrews is the only person it could be. Fun fact. This is just a thought. Just an observation. We don't actually have to prove who killed the victim. We just have to prove that our person didn't kill the victim. Not to mention, I don't have a choice. I have to win a complete acquittal today. Your Honor, the defense believe there is enough evidence to substantiate our claim. Therefore, we motion that this court pass a verdict of not guilty as soon as possible. I'm disappointed in you, Wright. What have you learned in this past year? That's enough. I commend you for trying, Mr. Edgeworth. However, it's clear that the defense's theory is the truth. You're wrong. ... What a shame. I had hoped things wouldn't come to this. However... What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Again, with the I had hoped things hadn't come to... Oh, God. Miss Andrews, since you absolutely refuse to testify, it falls on my shoulders to disclose this to the court. Stop. Mr. Edgeworth! This witness, how should I put this? She has an illness. What? And because of this illness, she has tried to commit suicide in the past. Oh no. Stop. Please stop. No matter how much you want to hide it, it's no use. I have the evidence right here. Well, I didn't do it. I'm not the one who did it. We didn't break our promise. We did not break our promise. That's the second part of the suicide report. The attempted suicide report. What will you do now, witness? You know what I am about to do, don't you? I will now reveal to the court the true nature of the pitiful woman known as Adrian Andrews. And so this is why I am hesitant to say that she did it, right? Because she's not self-motivating. I mean, this makes a statement about certain forms of mental health that, but she's not self-motivating. So obviously, unless that is a lie, this was all planned out by somebody else. Makes her an accomplice. The secret of her dependent nature. Having other people know about it scares her more than anything else in the world. Please, please stop! I beg you. If people find out, I'll... No, my nose itches. If you're going to say you would choose death, that is of no concern to me. Edgeworth, how can you be so cold? However, before you die, I will pull the truth from your still breathing lips. Oh, that's imagery. Jesus. No matter what I have to do. It's getting intense. So, will you tell the court yourself, or shall I? Either is fine with me. I'll talk. Please, help me. Nothing matters anymore. My crime. Alright. When I first saw him, I really thought he had fainted. Honest. When I realized he was dead, that was when I formulated my plan. Once I made sure there was no one in the hallway, I made a dash back to Matt's room. And then, I stabbed Juan's dead body with a knife and ripped off the button. Just when I finished and was returning to Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience. And that's why I ended up using the Nickel Samurai costume. Called it. Stab the body with the knife? But why would you do that? Isn't it obvious? To pin the blame on a certain person. A certain cowardly man. What do you mean by all of this? It might take this court a little while to understand, but this is the truth. The real killer is Matt, that scumbag of a man. I'll never forgive him. He's trying to escape his guilt again, just like last time. Last time? Called that too. So, Mr. Andrews stabbed the victim, Juan Corrida, in the chest with a knife. However, she didn't do it with murder in mind. She did it with the intent of framing Matt on guard for the murder. That's still a crime, by the way. And this is her crime. I mean, that's still a crime. What? How is this possible? I mean, wasn't Miss Andrews supposed to be the real murderer? No, unfortunately. Mr. Wright, please get over your shock and commence the cross-examination. Alright, oh my god. Okay. Whew. Whew. I gotta take a second. We're gonna take a break for a second. I've been going an hour and a half, so I gotta take a break for a second. I really hope I can finish this tonight. I have a hard cutoff for myself after a certain time period. But we're not even close to that yet. I'm still full of adrenaline and whatever. So, I'm going to take like a 2 to 3 minute break, relax, stretch, and do all that kind of good stuff. And we'll be back in like 2-3 minutes. Okay? Cool.